Hey, what is up guys, this is Norman3000. Today we take a look at the Kobo Libra 2. To give you an upfront conclusion, if you want a relatively hassle-free e-reader that natively supports multiple file types, lets you drag and drop your local files like books, manga, and comics, and just have them all work, this is a great device. And this screen is going to show you all the supported file formats for the Kobo Libra 2. So let's test some of them out and get these out of the way. For the first one, let's do a text file. So this is going to be for HTML. So this one would be for RTF. This one would be for a sample EPUB. This one would be for a Mobi. This one would be a sample for a JPEG. For GIF, it's supported but it doesn't move. And for now, let's get into Manga. So this one is Domestic Girlfriend and this one is a CBZ file format. So now let's try another comic format, CBR. We also have a PDF here. So for the ebook, I'm going to be connected into a Bluetooth device because this one does not have a speaker. So for the audiobook, I have a sample audiobook here called the Blackmailer. This is essentially a collection of MP3s compressed into a zip file and then renamed into MP3Z. So if you open that one.
Chapter 1 of Blackmailer by George Axelrod. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org.
And that's it for the upfront conclusion and testing of different file types. If you want to learn more, stick around. The Kobo Libra 2 is my first time with e-readers, so let me know what I may have missed during this review. For the Philippines, we have limited availability for e-readers. I had to resort to buying the Kobo Libra 2 off of Bayi, as the local FB Marketplace sellers priced the Kobo Libra 2 way too much. Opening the box itself, we have some manuals and some leaflets here. Of course, I've already unboxed this, so this is the device and nothing else, not even a USB-C cable. This looks to be in great condition when I first got it, and it still is after a few weeks. As you can see here at the back, there's a Rakuten Kobo logo here. There's a texture here that helps with the grip. There's a power button here, and for signs of use, there's the scratch that is thankfully disclosed before purchasing. Among the 4 sides here, only one has a port, and it is thankfully a Type-C USB port. The front houses the 7-inch e-ink Carta screen. This has a resolution of 1264 by 1680 and 300 ppi. This is an e-ink screen, so naturally this gives less strain on your eyes while reading. There are 2 buttons here for next and previous. These buttons adjust depending on how you are holding the device. Orientation change is quick and very responsive. So here, and this is going to be the next now. For ergonomics, this device simply feels much better. For reference, I used to use a 10-inch tablet to read manga, as you can see here. There's a stark difference between the Xiaomi Mi Pad 6 and the Kobo Libra 2. As you can see, if I hold the tablet like this one, it's so big and it's hard to turn the page. Unlike with this one, it's just much more comfortable to hold and much easier to turn the page. As I was setting up the device and transferring some files, this is where I noticed a couple of things with this one. For this part, this is where I'll be discussing the cons. Most of these are those that I found that affect my use case. The first one would be the internal storage, only at about 32 gigs. This is fine for books, but for manga, this is not really the greatest. My use case for the Kobo Libra 2 is manga reading, specifically Girlfriend, and Domestic Girlfriend. Domestic Girlfriend has 28 volumes and it comes in at 6 gigs. And Girlfriend has 16 volumes and it comes in at 3 gigs. From where I get my manga, it seems each volume hovers from about 100 MB all the way up to 500 MB. For 32 gigabytes, you can reasonably get about 190 volumes at 150 MB each. In addition to the somewhat decent storage, the transfer speed is painfully slow, topping up at about 2.5 megabytes per second. It took more than 30 minutes to transfer the 2 manga. Next would be with regards to the orientation and its responsiveness. When a portrait manga panel is viewed in landscape like this one, so it's going to cut off and you can't easily drag it like that one. It's going to pop that one up. You can't drag it up, no. What you need to do for this one is you need to zoom a little bit and then you can drag it, which is honestly not the best. While we're on things that is not working, I do wish there was another way to wake the device. You can wake the device by either pressing the power button at the back or using a flip cover. For example, for this one, let's simulate a flip cover here. So it's closed. If I open it, so it's going to wake. Close that one again. And if you don't have a flip cover, the only way to wake this up is with the power button. I do wish that we can wake the device by double-clicking a button, but as of now, that's not the case. I've looked into the settings, but that's not the case. Maybe there's something out there to sideload into the device, but I'm not sure, and for now, I'm not interested in tinkering with this device. This is a minor complaint, but it is a complaint nonetheless. Living in the Philippines, some features are not available. Audiobooks from the Kobo store and Overdrive seem to be missing. Speaking of the Kobo store, this will be subjective, but the prices for books seem to be very expensive. Again, this is the first reader I have and I haven't read the book in almost, 20 years? So I have no idea about the current prices of books, but let me know how wrong I am down in the comments below. The last gripe I have is minor, but it still bugged me. Bedtime here is set between 9 PM to 3 AM. As you can see here, it's 9 PM to 3 AM. This doesn't seem like a big deal, but it kind of is for me. By 6 PM, I am already at my rest my mind mode. I just wish that I had the liberty of choosing any time, not just this fixed set. And those are the things that I see as cons, especially for my use case. However, despite all of those, I would still say that the Kobo Libra 2 turned out to be a great purchase as it seemed to be perfectly tailored to me. The build may be plastic, but it doesn't feel flimsy. It feels solid to hold, and it has IPX8 water resistance. And as mentioned earlier, one-handed usability is on the sweet spot, neither being too small or too big. Moving into something smaller, more comfortable, with a screen that is literally better to look at, is a Switch that feels very much worth it all on its own. Another thing that I like with the Kobo is the treasure trove of native file format support. If you live in a country like the Philippines, where there is a severe lack of access to other countries' content you want to buy but you simply can't, sailing the high seas is an option that you have definitely done. The fact that you can drag and drop your plunders and have them work immediately is a crown jewel of a feature. The cons about the relatively low storage and slow transfer speeds are tolerable to me. I don't tend to hoard media, games, series, or movies. After I finish a game or show, I delete it. If I end up not liking a piece of media, I tend to drop it and move on to the next. I probably ended up passing a lot of great content due to this habit. Having only 1 or 2 manga at a time really forces me to read them instead of giving up before things start clicking. The missing features, Kobo Audiobook, and Overdrive, I don't really care about. As mentioned, I tend to use only local files, and there are workarounds. For local audiobooks, zip up those MP3s and rename the zip file extension from .zip to .mp3z as shown earlier. For Overdrive, it seems that you can create an account from a supported country and use it from there. But take this with a grain of salt, as I myself haven't tried it and will never do. Instapaper is also a feature that throws saved articles to your e-reader for later reading. This is a fun feature, but I haven't really used it. I'm going to show you, for example, here if you go to my articles. So this is a review for the Big Me smartphone review from notebookcheck.net. I saved it from my phone and it passed it on to the e-reader, and I can read this at my leisure the next time. The last would be the battery life. On heavier days where I read a lot of volumes, the battery can drain quickly, but it can still last up to a week. On most days where I can only get about 30 minutes to 1 hour a day of reading, it can last me more than 2 weeks. It feels refreshing to have a device where I don't need to charge it daily. I do wish that we have the option to change the battery percentage style here. I would have preferred to be written rather than just a visual bar. So, where does that leave us with the Kobo Libra 2? Let's do a quick pros and cons recap. For the pros, we have great one-handed usability, it has a great screen for reading, it has great build with water resistance, Type-C, native file format support, drag and drop functionality, decent storage, and a great battery life. For the cons, we have the slow transfer speed, janky manga page scrolling, no alternative wake function, and some missing features like the Kobo audiobooks and Overdrive on some regions. If you are dipping your toes into e-readers, Kindles may still be a better purchase given their integration with Amazon, which is why they are cheaper upfront and will likely be more simple to use. However, if you are a penny pincher and already have copies of books, audiobooks, comics, or manga, then the better native support of Kobo is a better deal despite the steeper price. Choosing Kobo also frees you from the shackles of Amazon's shady practices and BS license to read shenanigans. If you love to read books but don't have the real estate, like living in a small apartment or a condo like me, e-readers are definitely worth it. E-readers aren't really something you need, especially if you won't be using it in the long term. But the good thing is, if you decide to get one, this is a long-term purchase where it can last you a very long time, unlike phones where we tend to switch every 2 or 3 years. The Kobo Libra 2 is definitely one of my best purchases for 2025. I used to stay away from manga, but this changed everything. I may even start to consider reading books again. How about you? What e-readers are you using? Will you be getting the Kobo Libra 2 or any of its successors? Let me know down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Consider like, sharing, and subscribing if you found this useful. This has been Norman3000. See you soon, and keep reading.